Fox Valley TV welcomes you to Yorkville's Campbell Stadium, where tonight the Yorkville Fighting Foxes go up against their fierce conference rivals, the Morris Redskins. It's an exciting Friday night here at Yorkville's Campbell Stadium. I'm Tom Molding, and alongside me is Evan Wiseman.
This is going to be a great matchup, Tom. We're ready for yet another great IHSA matchup. We've got two teams who are they've come off with some pretty impressive battles so far in the year. Unfortunately, the Yorkville coming into this game at 1-3, but they've faced a very tough West Aurora team in a tough loss there, and then a very tough Canelan team as well. Those two games are, honestly, I might as well throw them out the window. Those programs are established and very successful, but so is Yorkville, which is why I don't doubt that this won't be a close game, even though the Morris Redskins are 4-0.
Absolutely. We've seen Yorkville in these past seasons. They've come out swinging, come out hard with their offense and defense. Some games have been shaky, but tonight, especially as you said, those two programs that they've lost to over the past couple of weeks, throw them out the window. They do have, those other two schools do have very intense programs. Morris coming into this game undefeated so far this season, 4-0. And again, it's a fierce rivalry going on for years and years. So you can already tell there's going to be this added bit of emotion to the game, a very heightened feeling of challenge against going up against your opponents, Yorkville and Morris-wise. So to see what both teams are going to pull out tonight, it's going to be very interesting.
Yes, it is. I see the run game being very dominant. You could tell that both teams on the sophomore level were passing pretty frequently, and both defenses just swallowing up balls right and left. As we watched the sophomore game, had 4 interceptions walking out of that one. I wonder if that's going to equate to how the varsity level looks at their pass game towards the Morris defense and vice versa, because these are two great quarterbacks and two great offenses that we're going to see here.
And, Yorkville's got the home field advantage tonight, and that sophomore win a little bit earlier. Yorkville's team did come away with that win there. Might put a little bit more momentum into the Fox's sails. So we're about to get underway here, and we have number 85 for the Redskins back deep.
And number 9, Alex Cameron.
And we also got Alex Cameron back there too. Looks like we have, trying to get a number on the kicker there. Anyway, ball goes a little flat, but picked up right away there. That was Austin Hatcher from Morris with the return there.
Already the Yorkville special teams coming out with a bang. And so is the Morris student section, may I add. So Morris set back near their own end zone for a long drive ahead of them.
Yep, a whole field to go. Very interesting to see where we're gonna go here. We saw Hatcher kind of slip up there on that return and get pushed back a little bit. We're going to start them on their, let's call it the 13-yard line of their own territory. So whole game to go, whole field to go if they want a touchdown. Let's do it. You kind of see there off the upper right corner of your screen, that's the Morris student section with a little bit of some sort of a fog going off. All right, that was the quarterback there, Mitchell Bradbury, handing off the ball to who I believe that is Austin Hatcher again on the carry.
Number 1, Austin Hatcher on the carry.
Used to be it's the old chalk method. We used to do that in high school. Remember those days a while back. I see that starting off the first play with a big run that Morris will be keeping it on the ground. I know it's early to tell, but they do have a pretty talented quarterback, Mitchell Mayberry back there. He's confident in the gun. So it's going to be interesting to see with the first play being a run play, how this game's going to go.
Yeah, 13-yard run coming right off the back with Mitchell Mayberry and Hatcher. We're going to see him run again. I believe that's Hatcher with the ball, making it a little bit over the line of scrimmage. Let's call that a gain of 2 yards. Interesting. Going with a nice carry. Yorkville seems to be picking up. They're going to be running a ground game here. Hopefully, if we see Mayberry go for a pass to one of his receivers, doesn't catch Yorkville too off guard.
Well, I think that's why they call Yorkville in that first beginning there. That first play was able to gain so much yards, because I don't know that they necessarily saw them coming out of the gun with a run play, especially so back in their own area.
All right. Mayberry has the ball, handing that off again to Hatcher. And Hatcher getting tripped up there Oh, that's a Hatcher, pardon me. That is number 7, Cameron Dransfeld.
Cameron Dransfeld on the carry, brought down by
Let's keep an eye on Cameron Dransfeld tonight, too. He had some speed there, but getting him dropped down immediately, just a couple steps off that play.
Strong line. A lot of credit to the Yorkville secondary, who's able to read that play very quickly and fill gaps where they occur.
All right, we see wide receiver number 17, Tyler Spiezzo, coming out for Morris. We might see an option here for Mayberry if decides to pass it. So we're 3rd and 5. Morris got 5 yards to go.
Quick move on the side of Morris.
Start against the Redskins.
Well, that was 3rd and 5, going back 5 yards to make it 3rd and 10, starting on the original line of scrimmage here.
I believe that was Joshua Schroeder on the jump. Now, he has a formidable opponent across from him on the line, so I don't blame him for jumping a little early, trying to get that quick edge.
All right. So, setback 5 yards, a little inconvenient. Clock's at 10 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Let's see what the Redskins decide to do here to get a fresh set of downs. All right. Mayberry taking a step back. And nice little lob pass. I believe that is to Hatcher. Could not see. That was either a 1 or a 7. Yep, that was Hatcher going down with the ball. Gaining maybe about 8 or 9 yards. Kid Reader bringing Hatcher down there.
This looks like it's going to be 4th and inches. Well, you can see the confidence in the gun from Mayberry. Was able to find Hatcher, even though he came off the block, was able to cut right and find some space. And it will be a first down, I'm sorry.
Oh, yes.
Selection the Morris 39-yard line.
All right, that seemed a little shy to me to be a first down, but not going to argue with the refs. We're just going to call the game as Mayberry hands that ball off again to Hatcher. Runs around halfway there, makes a first fresh set of downs, and goes about 3 yards past that before getting brought down.
Number 1, Hatcher on the carry.
Well, if you're keeping score at home, one stat that I would definitely keep track of for this day is Hatcher's yards after initial impact. Now, it's not necessarily a stat that everybody keeps, but you can tell that he's going to hit somebody. Yorkville's defense is impressive in getting into the backfield and filling gaps, but Hatcher can bounce off defenders right and left. So definitely wrapping up on the side of Yorkville if they're going to bring him down. Definitely keep track of the amount of yards that he can take even after 1, 2, 3 impacts.
Absolutely. Hatcher's got the eye for making space and knows how to run a little bit out, but that's not Hatcher with the ball. That's Klunsfeld. And Klunsfeld going down. Let me see if I'm pronouncing that name. Dransfeld, pardon me. That's Cameron Dransfeld. Confusing that first and second initial there.
On the carry, number 13, Alex.
Well, that's a fresh set of downs again for the Morris Redskins. And considering that they started on their own 13-yard line on this offensive run here, they're making it a decent way across the field.
Well, if I've got my stats right, it's only looking about 9 to 10 yards in passing gain. They're going to be keeping it on the ground here for the Redskins, and like we said, it's a little odd coming up at the start of the game, but it's also you got to remember, it's 85 degrees out tonight. It's pretty warm.
It is actually a really very warm day out here. Players are going to be hopefully not cramping up. They say hydrated enough as Hatcher goes down. Nice play there by the defense. That is number 32, if I'm not mistaken, from the Foxes. 52, actually. That's 52, Jacob Pisecki on the down of Hatcher. 2nd and 10.
Like we were saying before, this 2 running back backfield, the switch off that the Redskins have been pulling may prove to be a deciding factor early. As you can see, both of them are pretty successful every time they touch the ball.
Yeah, they both seem to have a different set of mindset, which is good, especially for a running back, not to have the same mindset as your other co-running back. And Yorkville is doing a good job of picking up on where Dransfeld and Hatcher's going to go, as the ref's going to call something here.
So it looks like it's going to be an early jump on. Oh, there'll be a timeout.
Okay. So, yeah, back to what I was saying there about Yorkville. It's good to keep an eye on both Dransfeld and Hatcher, especially this early in the game. Both of the Redskins' main running backs could prove to be a viable threat later on in the game, so getting an early read on them is very valuable, especially for Yorkville's defense right now.
Well, combined rushing, they're going on at just about 56 yards, something around there. A quick start, but it's been running the clock out. We're already down to about 8 minutes left. This may be a low-scoring game, but it's certainly going to be a defensive battle between, like we've been saying, over and over again, 2 very strong teams.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to see Yorkville take the field again, and Morris looks like they're about to get set to come on back out. Ref's blowing the whistle, so let's see what they can do. Let's see if Morris can actually make it to the end zone, or if Yorkville's picked up enough insight to put an end to this the rushing between Dransfeld and Hatcher.
Well, with a huddle that long, you know that the Morris coaching staff's got something up their sleeve to try to get in the end zone early.
We see Mayberry again back in the gun. Looking to have enough space. Decides he's going to hand that off to Hatcher, but we see a flag on the play here.
I think I've got holding on Morris. Looks like that might have been number 50.
There's a flag on the play indication.
So Nathan Cordy.
The Redskins.
All right, so that holding call, as you said, Hatcher against, was on Hatcher, so against the Redskins.
Holding against Morris.
Okay, and it will be a hold, so pushing back even further. Morris, the success of their run game has been unfortunately quieted slightly by now 15 yards worth of penalties.
Not exactly where you want to be sitting right here, but you're on the second down. You have enough time to make that lost ground back, but let's see what Mayberry and Mayberry going for a pass. Nice pitch over to Hatcher again, and stopping him maybe about 3 yards up, about a gain of 3 yards, I'd say.
Well, here's what's going to be very dangerous. I mean, Mayberry, we know, is strong in the gun, and he's got a line that can hold him there, so he's got plenty of time to make some quick decisions and scan the field before dishing off to Hatcher. But Yorkville so far, I mean, their pass game has been, or their pass defense, I should say, has been pretty on point, only allowing about 10 yards per for the one pass play that they've allowed to gain positive yards.
Yep, and actually, there was a loss of yardage there for the Redskins. Third down, 19 yards to go, and so Yorkville doing a good job of reading what Mayberry wants to do here and pushing him back. So Mayberry going for another pass, looking at, that was number 17, and somebody there from Yorkville there to pick him up. That's Tyler Spezia with the ball, and eventually being brought down by a majority of the Yorkville defense there.
Tyler Spezia.
Took a few red shirts to bring down Morris.
22 Zach Catula wraps him up.
Although Tula will be accredited with the tackle.
Forward progress gives them the.
So it's about a gain of 4 yards for the Redskins. Fourth down, 15 to go. So we're going to see him move here into the. See him punt it out.
Number 1 Hatcher on to kick.
And we're sending Hatcher out to kick.
25 Kale Reeder back deep for Yorkville.
Hatcher, a man of many traits, as he punts a pretty successful about 35, 40 yards.
Yeah, and that ball took a very nice Morris bounce. So the Foxes offense are going to take off from their own, looks like about right around the 10-yard line. So 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Score still remains at 0-all. And Yorkville starting back a little bit even, a little further back than the Redskins started.
This is going to be exciting to see coming right out of the gun. Like I said, two similar offenses playing a little out of their comfort zone for how well these two rivals know each other.
All right, so play gets underway. Ball is handed off. Could not quite get a number on him. That was number 31. That was Andreas Mata being brought down by 34 from Morris, or 44, pardon me. That was Sam Brady from Morris bringing down Mata.
2nd and 6.
All right, so gain of 4 for the Foxes. 2nd and 6 as the clock ticks down past 5 minutes, 40 seconds. It's quarterback Larry Mattis out there with the ball. Might have handed that off to Mata, could not quite see.
34 Jacob Brooks on the carry.
Brooks with the carry.
On the stop.
Yeah, it's a gain of 2 yards.
Gain of 2.
And we're seeing here Yorkville starting out with a running game, 3rd and 4, so they've made about 6 yards here, but need to push a little bit more, need to read the Morris defense a little bit more if they want to get through, or we might see Larry Mattis pass it out to one of his receivers.
Well, you remember him from last year. He does like to dish when he can.
He's back in the gun and making some space. That was Spezia from Morris, tipped off the pass. So 4th down for Yorkville, an early 4th down compared to how long it took Morris to get across the field. We're going to see the kicking team come out here. Again, Spezio just getting his hand up there, reading where the ball was going to be and tipping it off, bringing up that Yorkville 4th down.
Overbeck with the just about interception. Just fell through his fingertips.
Good idea to get that ball out of there right away.
What a punt.
Wow. That was Alex Cameron with the ball, getting a nice run here, making space, being brought down, looks like right over the 35-yard line in Yorkville territory.
Well, nice kick from number 40, Haddix. It's fielded by...
So that was Haddix from Yorkville with a solid kick. And yep, that's right on the Yorkville 35-yard line, and the Redskins are going to start a drive that might put pressure on Yorkville right away.
Haddix, not the average kicker. I love looking at his stats. I believe he joined us last year on the varsity team. A 6 foot, 200-pound linebacker listed, and has got a boot that it impressed some critics.
Yeah, that was a big kick. I was actually looking a little shallow for that, but no, ball was still in the air. Had some nice hang time. Oh, Yorkville defense putting a read on that and pushing him over, I believe, a little bit over the line of scrimmage. That was Dransfeld with the ball.
Brought down by number 44, Chris Galloway.
Being brought down by Chris Galloway from Yorkville. Yorkville waking up and smelling the beans here.
Definitely going to let the defense lead them here, as unfortunately they went 4 and out on that first drive. But it's saved them so far. A lot of impressive tackles.
Yep. A nice lob over there to...
Pass incomplete.
Actually, an incomplete pass there. That was intended for 24. That was Chet and Dryfoot from Morris. And going to go 3rd down, 12 to go. And that was Galloway from Yorkville with the interception there. Not the interception, but the tip-off. Pardon me. Yeah, Yorkville defense immediately kind of picking up on what Morris wants to do here. And, well, it's kind of a battle to get off the original line of scrimmage here.
Well, if they watched game footage, which I assume they have, they know that Mayberry loves to pass. Keep it right on the line.
Going for another pass. Getting some pressure, being brought down by number 71 from Yorkville. That's Joseph Slavin. Wow, that was good read there, getting around that defense and putting that pressure on Mayberry. Wow.
He got back there. I mean, the speed alone from coming from the lineman, it's scary for a quarterback who's so used to having an offensive line who can keep him safe to see that opportunity. I wouldn't be shocked if he was a little shaken up after that. He is a Yorkville defense force to be reckoned with when they can get back in the backfield.
All right. Nice high kick, but it looks like it's going to fall and go out of bounds at, I think that's the 25-yard line.
Yorkville takes over, 1st and 10.
All right, 1st and 10 from Yorkville on their own 23-yard line. 3 minutes and 18 seconds to go here, and the first score still 0-all.
Defense has definitely been the game here so far. Josh Slavin with the sack to push the Morris Redskins way back. About, I think that was what, 4th and about 20?
That was about 4th and 20.
4th and 20. So Yorkville in much better position than they were before. Look to try again with a new drive.
All right. Hopefully Yorkville got a read on the Morris defense last time to wise up and see what they can do here. That's Laramitis with the ball. Nice bullet, and it's an incomplete pass. That was meant for Nico Medrano.
Nico Medrano.
Off his back foot, he was rushed there. Alex Cameron with the pressure on Yorkville. Tyler Amitis, though, is a quarterback who can run if he needs to. It's nice to see that now in his senior year, he's settled down and willing to pass the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, he's been in this position, I think, for, I believe last year was added to more prominent play out here as the quarterback, and he's been impressing. He's been doing a good job, and you can see that he's, as you said, settled into his position, comfortable to take a step back when he needs to. 34 on the carry, that is Jacob Brooks.
34, Jacob Brooks on the carry.
Gain of about 2 yards. 3 minutes now remaining in the first quarter.
Gain of 2.
Yorkville going with the 2 running back offense as well. They've got Mata and Brooks, 2 sizable runners, both with some fast feet.
Aratus going for another pass. This pass again incomplete, again meant for Nico Madrano.
Receiver.
Morris defense doing a pretty all right job putting pressure on both Laramitis, the quarterback, and Madrano, the intended receiver, both these times now.
Good coverage on that play. It was a well called by the defense on that one. And we'll see another punt.
Well, they're going to start this off here from the Yorkville 25-yard line. Let's see what Haddix can do here.
Number 9, Alex Cameron, back deep.
All right, Haddix, big boot. Ball goes up. Alex Cameron looking like he is going to catch that ball. Go across the 45, the 50, about across Yorkville's 40, across the 30, 20, and being brought down just over the Yorkville 20. Let's call that about the 17, 18-yard line.
Well, it's normally it makes Sports Center top 10 when you see a kicker go out and make a hit like that. But like I said earlier, Haddix listed as a linebacker here and makes the tackle.
That's pretty impressive, especially from Haddix. Very impressive to see Cameron actually make a large run like that, getting around some of the Yorkville defense before being pressured out there by Haddix. Very, very nice play by Cameron there. And not Yorkville, pardon me. Morris starting a little bit closer here, inching closer and closer every time they go on that offensive press on the Yorkville 19-yard line.
Well, they've got much less ground to gain.
That's Dramfelt with the ball, being brought down on the 10, it looks like.
7, Dransfeld on the carry. 13.
All right,
Alex
second down,
Johnson
2 to
on the
go for a fresh set of downs. The ball sets on the Yorkville 11-yard line with 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. All right, here we go. Getting ready to set up again. Ball handed off to actually number 24. That is Chayton Dryfout. And Dryfout making it across the end zone for what appears to be a touchdown. But the player is down from Yorkville.
In for the Morris touchdown.
So Morris touchdown is good.
On the field.
Can't quite get a number on him yet. We'll get back to that that Morris touchdown. Had my eye off that. I was looking down for Dryfout's name. But he did a good job getting around. Dryfout, normally he is a running back, so we took the place.
The injured Yorkville player.
Of both Hatcher and Dransfeld, and made his way around that Yorkville defense into the end zone, which is fantastic, but still trying to get a read here on the player. Looked like a wicked hit, so we're hearing out here. Get down by his shin, looking like is the most injured part, but it looks like he's getting back up. I believe that is number 67. Yep, 67, Keenan Nass.
Move off under his own power. The result of the play is a Morris touchdown.
A little bit harder to get up, especially after you know that Morris made a touchdown, but Keenan Nass, very good to see him walking off under his own power. A little bit of a hobble to his walk, but we'll see if we see him out here again tonight on the defensive line.
Morris sets to go for 1. They've got a strong special teams, and it shows.
Looks good.
On the hold of number 20, Mason Lewis.
There's Mason Morris with
Austin
the...
Hastings kick is up.
Actually, it's Austin Hastings' kick was up there for the Morris Redskins. And the Redskins strike first here out here in Yorkville at Campbell Field. 7-0 Redskins over the Foxes.
Well, it's definitely a run-dominated game. We were talking about the Heat earlier. A whole lot of people in the backfield taking turns. We've got everyone from Dryfout to Austin Hatcher for the Redskins. Mayberry's taking a run. There is a lot of talent that they have coming out of the backfield for the Redskins. And it's nice that they've got 3 names to keep running because, we're going to see a lot of, dare I say, some cramping. I don't want to say injuries. I feel like that's a little too far. But definitely
too intense, yeah.
Cramping can be a issue when you come out in this heat. And like you were saying, even in the sophomore game, there was mandatory hydration timeouts coming from the referees, which I found interesting. You don't see it a lot in Illinois football, but here we are.
Normally this time of year, very chilly. We're up here bundled up because of all the wind and the cold weather, but this September feels like late July here, and breaking a little bit of a sweat up here.
Yeah, well, around this time last year, I think Yorkville was taking on Rochelle. It was a cold day. Now it's a very warm day. We're just getting the extremes here, really testing to see how athletic these players can be.
It's always good to see players play in a variety of conditions going from year to year. But yeah, this heat, very unseasonable for September. So seeing the players play out here, probably a little bit more comfortable than you're used to playing in previous years out in the cold. But let's see how it goes. I mean, we've seen Morris strike first here in the first quarter, and Yorkville's coming out strong. Both teams are very strong here, especially out in the heat. As long as they're keeping hydrated, they'll be good. That was 25, the return man for Yorkville, Cale Reeder, a sophomore.
Cody Baldridge.
As well as a defensive back with some quick feet. So definitely keep his name in mind. You're going to be hearing it a few times tonight.
Tasty Pizza.
All right, Yorkville starting on their own 35-yard line, looking to have an answer for the touchdown that Morris just struck against them. 1 minute, 31 seconds remaining here in the first, and Yorkville going on the attack. Pardon me. Let's see what Laramitis can pull out here against the Morris defense. See if we can actually get out of the Yorkville territory and go from there.
Room to run. Small gain.
Number
26 on the carry there, Shaquan Hamilton. Very strong runner. We've seen him in past seasons. Coming out this year, appearing very strong, very comfortable in his position. And a gain of 9, pardon me.
If I recall, we've seen him sometime last year as a wide receiver on a few deep plays. Actually, yeah, there he is on the outback. So Yorkville pulling a few switcheroos on the clientele in the backfield there.
If you have players being comfortable wherever you put them, that's good. That is a loss of yards there for Shaquan Hamilton and the Yorkville Foxes.
What a read defensively.
On the carry brought down.
The tackle was number 52, Avery Hoffman.
Wow.
Read that play like an absolute book.
Well, time is ticking down here in the first quarter. We're just about at 30 seconds. Enough time for another Yorkville play if they get back out there. Let's see what they can do. We've seen Shaquan Hamilton come out there. Yorkville still across the original line of scrimmage. Third down, 7 yards to go. This might be enough time to get a fresh set of downs before the end of the quarter. Shaquan Hamilton on the move. Fake out. Ball again intended for number 4, Nico Madrano. Pressure put out, and it was incomplete. Clock stops at 7 seconds. As we have 4th down, 7 to go. Kind of makes you wonder what they want to do here. Do you think they're going to go for it, Evan? Try to go for it, or are they going to punt it out?
Looks like they're going to, definitely looks like they're going to punt it out with, as I see Haddix has stepped out there. So they're going to set up Morris with some far back field, a little bit more defensive advantage, I should say.
Yep.
And then go into the second quarter.
Big boot, wide arc, and finding his way. Oh, Cade Henry juggling the ball. Finally comes away with it. Wow, that was impressive. I thought he was going to drop it there. And pressure gets put on Cade Henry, falls down just on the Redskins side of the 35-yard line. And that horn will bring us to the end of the first quarter here at Yorkville's Campbell Field. This is Fox Valley TV. We're going to send it to commercial break. We'll be right back. welcome back to Fox Valley TV. And if you're just joining us, you're here at Campbell Field in Yorkville with me, Tom Molding, and my partner, Evan Wiseman.
It's been an exciting game so far. Morris, the only one on the board. The run game has definitely been dominating for both sides. We've got positive yards coming from Hatcher, Drumsfelt, and Dryfout with the Redskins. Dryfout, the one with the touchdown himself, even if he's only got around 8 yards carrying. A whole lot of yardage gained on the ground as we see another run coming from Morris again.
Your varsity Lady Foxes are head coached by Miss Caitlin Graham.
Looking like a gain of about 3 yards there for Morris. I couldn't quite see who was on the run there.
Looks like it was Dramsfeld.
I'll have to agree with you there. Yep, that was Dransfeld.
We'll add 5 more yards to his stat sheet. Him and Hatcher have been the 2 lead running powerhouses, I guess you could say, because they both love to go up the middle. And they've had some pretty significant success considering, I think if we were watching game tapes correctly, I mean, Mayberry, the quarterback for Morris, has loved to step back in the gun.
Oh, I believe that was Dramsfeld on the carry again, but I could be mistaken. No, that was Hatcher on the carry there, getting a gain of about 2 yards.
Number 1, Hatcher, brought down by number 4.
Yeah, you're right.
Galloway.
They do have an offensive powerhouse. Normally, when you see offensive lines go right up the middle, doesn't really work out too well. They normally get stopped about a yard or 2 in. But we've seen this Morris offense just push and push and get a couple of significant yardage gains, pardon me. It's actually been working out rather well for them.
Ooh, fumbled snap. Drumsfeld wrapped up. And looks like a gain of roughly 4. He might still be short.
He's knocked out of bounds. Number 52, Jacob Piasecki.
Piasecki on the tackle there, putting the pressure on, but looks like it's a Morris first down on the Yorkville. No, Morris, pardon me, 44-yard line.
Made the stretch successfully. Credit to Drumsfeld for really fighting for that extra yard there. He certainly, Yorkville defense not making it easy on him.
Absolutely not. All right, let's see what Morris can pull out of their hats here. Ball snapped back. Looks like that was Dryfout with the ball.
And a gain of about 4 on the carry.
Number 24, Dryfout.
Yep. Chetton Dryfout with the ball.
For the Redskins.
Yeah, about 2 minutes into the second quarter here. Very intense rivalry game here between the Morris Redskins and the Yorkville Foxes. Big rivalry going on for years, and these games never fail to entertain. We've seen a just intense game out there on the field. Both teams giving very little space to move. Both defenses stopping the offense just as soon as they can, or is trying to be as soon as they can.
31, Tyler Petty.
There's Tyler Petty on the carry there. A different name we've seen out there, actually. Tyler Petty.
On the stop.
And another listed running back for Morris.
Gain of 2. 3rd and 5.
Yep, but just to go back to the rivalry here for just a split second. Yeah, both teams' defense doing a great job stopping each other. Morris does have the lead here, 7-0 here in the second quarter. But we'll see what Yorkville has to do. Both offenses have been actually very stellar tonight, if I have to say so myself.
Yes, the defense for Yorkville has had a few slip-ups, but it's really only been like 1 or 2 big plays that has led to the score being 7-0.
Mayberry with a bullet, passing that over to who I believe was, yep, that was Tyler Spezio. And I do believe that's a fresh set of downs for the Redskins.
That's only the second pass for positive yards that we've had here from the Redskins. Every once in a while throwing one in has definitely set the Foxes back on their heels. But Mayberry just not looking as comfortable in the pocket as he normally does. Although his arm wouldn't show it. His passing has been pretty on point.
It has. It really has. We're going to go for a handoff here to Hatcher. Hatcher making it about a yard or 2 over that line of scrimmage.
Number 1, Hatcher.
And yeah, you're right. We normally see Mayberry be a little bit more comfortable back there in that pocket. That offensive line, pardon me, does a really good job protecting him. But he's been sacked earlier tonight, and that might still be have him shaken up a little bit.
Well, that certainly worry me. Anytime a quarterback goes down 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, it certainly sits in the back of their mind a little bit. Looking on that right side, seeing if the defender's going to be coming from that same direction again.
Maybe we're taking a step back, looking for space. Big pass, but looks like it goes way too far over the head of, I believe, Spezio. No, that is intended for 13. Zach Redinger, and there's a flag on the play.
A lot of faith in his wide receiver there. Mayberry throwing it way long. And Zach Redinger, they listed as actually the backup quarterback, a sophomore, and he's coming in at 6'1", so a bit taller than your average wide receiver, but is still overthrown just a little bit by Mayberry.
Yep, and that call was holding against the Foxes, so the Morris Redskins will get a little bit closer here to their intended target, being the Yorkville end zone. First down, 10 to go here on the Yorkville 33-yard line. So we've seen Mayberry take another step back, maybe get a little bit more comfortable here, but hands that ball off instead to Hatcher. Hatcher being just latched onto and went down kind of hard there. Getting back up just fine. That's very good. Couldn't quite see. That was number 11, Evan Fisher, bringing him down there, latching onto his leg. That was pretty intense. I thought he was going to be down there for a little bit.
Pretty impressive stiff arm. Just shows the athleticism of Hatcher, but not enough. The Yorkville really sticking to the old Pop Warner wrap up and hold on for the ride,
Yes. All right, that's a loss of 4 yards there for the Redskins. Going back a little bit, but not too much to worry about. It is the second down here. Let's see what Mayberry has to pull out. Mayberry hands the ball off to Hatcher. Hatcher again with the ball being brought down again. Very intense. See a little bit of celebration out there by, I believe, again, that was, no, not again, but that was Chris Galloway there. Another loss in the play.
Fox is slowly figuring out the offensive strategy. Anytime Hatcher's got the ball, you can tell he's loves to get close up to the line and then go right. Although that's not always set in stone. The fact that he does like to go near the line and he's not afraid to take an impact, I mean, it shows, and the Foxes are learning.
Foxes are learning. That's why we've seen, Mayberry taking a step back. Pass, and that was a nice catch there, but being brought down by number 40 there. That was Hatcher with the catch, but Haddix with an instant answer to that catch. And brought down near the 34-yard line by the Yorkville Foxes. And near the original line of yeah, that's why I was get back to that talk about Hatcher and the amount of running backs the Redskins have. As I mentioned earlier, each of the running backs we've seen, Dryfout, Hatcher, and Dransfeld, they all have a different mindset, a different way they want to play. So it's good to keep it fresh. So maybe we've seen Hatcher out there a little bit too long for the Redskins. Switching it up a little bit might do a little bit more damage to that Yorkville defense, but as we're on 4th down, 11 to go, we might Redskins are going to go for it. Let's see what they can do.
Well, they got 10 yards to go, comfortable lead. Actually, it looks like it's going to be a timeout for Morris. So. Yep. A play call that maybe some specialty play, and coach didn't like what he saw. I'd be a little worried too. It's a long set of a long way to go for that first down for Morris, but
maybe they're comfortable with where they are on the field. I mean, Yorkville's 34-yard line. Worst case scenario, if they don't get that fresh set of downs, they start. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They go about halfway before they're brought down. That brings it to about the Yorkville 29-yard line. That starts back pretty deep in Yorkville territory, especially with what we've seen in Yorkville offense doing tonight.
They've got to figure something out because, unfortunately, for the Yorkville offense, I mean, if they keep playing like this, they're going to keep getting stopped. A lot of the run game through the center has been unsuccessful. I think once we find Tyler Amitis really step up and make a few big plays, well, you see the momentum kind of switch back in Yorkville's favor.
All right, well, they're going to punt it. Okay.
And attempted athleticism, unfortunately, goes awry. So credit to Trevor Tank, but unfortunately, the will be a touchback.
Definitely interesting playing. If that worked out, we might have heard a lot of commotion coming from the Yorkville fan section. Get a little bit rowdy here, but nothing really came of that, and going to count that as a safety. And going to go to the Yorkville 20-yard line.
Fans watching this evening. First down, Yorkville.
Oh, a fresh set of downs. Let's see if the Foxes got something new in their arsenal.
Well, I believe that is Shaquan Hamilton, but I can't quite tell what the number he's spinning around so many times out there, but he goes down. Might have been 31 with the ball there. 41, that was Mata on the carry.
Hard yards.
And he took about 3 or 4 white jerseys with him for a gain of 11.
Wow. That, very, very impressive there from Mata. I look down for a split second, and I look back up, and there he is making his way across that line.
You're going to look to him again up the middle, and unfortunately a gain of 1. Stopped pretty quick by that Morris front line.
Number 31, Mata on the carry, brought down by number 44, Sam Brady.
So maybe a new game plan coming from the Foxes.
Second down, 8 to go. Not much to worry about with 4 minutes, 45 seconds remaining here in the second. Morris still in the lead, 7-0.
Mata still in the secondary, maybe looking for a little bit of a trick play. It is a pass.
Larry Mandis with a pass. Intercepted there by number 14. That's Luis that is Blake Brayman with the ball from Morris going the opposite direction, being pushed out till about the 23-yard line in Yorkville territory.
That is tough. Tyler Midas stepped up and was immediately pressured. Made a decision to the only wide receiver that he looked like he had, and unfortunately, Blake Brayman, is right there to read the pass.
Might feel like a big punch to the gut there for Tyler Midas. Nothing wrong by his book. Looked to his only wide receiver, as he said. Turns out only Brayman was there and took the ball the opposite direction, not where you want to be for Yorkville defense. We might not see Larry Midas passing again for quite a while tonight after that.
Well, we saw Mata come out and have a few strong runs. I think that might be the way to go if Foxes are going to continue.
Okay, that was Dransfeld with the ball.
Pass complete to number 7, Dransfeld. He's brought down by number 52.
Being brought down by 52 there, Piasecki. Kind of a number of players going there for Dransfeld, and loss of 4 yards.
Well, once again, they find themselves a few yards behind where they started. Well, the Yorkville Foxes defense has certainly been the story of today. Now, that is their 5th tackle for a loss, 1 being a sack. They just keep pushing Morris back farther and farther, but yet somehow the Redskins can pull off something to put themselves back in it.
Very impressive. All right, so we're going to see Mayberry take a big step back, getting a little bit of pressure, throws the ball, just a last-ditch effort. Ball is caught. I could not see who caught that. Wow, stopped just shy of the end zone. That was Dransfeld with the carry there. Wow, very
catch.
Impressive. I did not think that ball was going to go anywhere but maybe the ground, but Dransfeld was there, and now we're 5 yards away from the Yorkville end zone.
Well, it's not like he fought through nothing. He was certainly very well covered and was able to pull that out. Dransfeld, a little bit of a taller wide receiver, but not the tallest guy on the field. A 6-footer, but he is 180 pounds. He can muscle you free and grab the ball out of the sky when he needs to.
So not too comfortable position for the Yorkville Foxes as Morris moves on up and into the end zone.
Number 1, Hatcher.
That was Austin Hatcher with the first touchdown to his name tonight.
I'll add to the long list of power running backs for Morris to add their name to the scoreboard.
All right, well, the score right now, 13-0, as Morris appears to be going for the extra point with Austin Hastings in the back. Our kick goes up.
And is a bit left.
Attempt is no good.
And we're going to leave the score right where it is at 13-0. 3.5 minutes remaining here in the second. Yorkville comes back and let's have a talk about what they're going to do here in this on their offensive line.
Well, the opportunities that Morris have been presented today, I mean, it's really, if you look at it, been just a handful of big plays coming from Morris. It's not necessarily been a driving type game like Yorkville's been pushing. This defense is getting a little tired after they just keep continuously getting these big gains and big plays and these big passes to lead them down the field. Morris is changing up their clientele a little bit in the background, but when you look at the rosters, Yorkville is much larger of a team than Morris, and yet Morris seems to be running over a lot of these Yorkville defenders.
Set to kick off for the Redskins.
All right. Well, here we go. Another Yorkville offensive play is about to go underway. Austin Hatcher about to get that ball to the Yorkville receivers. And this might be the run Yorkville gets to actually score their first touchdown of the night. You're down two touchdowns, just down 13-0. You want to get your name on the board here, especially before going into halftime. Going to that locker room with at least one touchdown to your name, to your team's name. Definitely get you going for that second half and might get the ball rolling for a few more in the second half.
Oh, a change up in the return.
Wow. He's going for it, going across the 30 and being dropped right across the 30. That was Nico Madrano with the ball.
The old attempted switcheroo. Keep an eye on that play. You know, if we see it again later, it might be pretty successful. Those are the ones you see on SportsCenter with the big run back and the guys on the other side of the field, no defenders, see where he's went.
All right, so here we are standing on the Yorkville 30-yard line. Yorkville's been definitely making some good offensive plays tonight. Little bit of pressure being put on Ty Laramitis out there. Been making a couple of passing plays. Not many of them have gone the way he wanted. The most previous one going the way of an interception that led to a touchdown, and there's a flag on the play.
Looks like it's going to be Yorkville. So a quick jump on the side of Yorkville, trying to get a leg up on the Morris defense.
Well, fans, don't forget your marching foxes taking the field.
All right, so repeat first down, 5 yards back, first and 15.
Our Yorkville High School varsity dance team taking the field for their halftime show.
Under the gun.
Handing that ball off is Laramitis. And that is 21 with the ball. Actually, no, Laramitis on the carry.
Laramitis with the design keeper. He's brought down, loss on the play. There was a flag.
But there is loss on the play, plus a flag on the play.
So a loss of 10 more yards for the Foxes.
That will definitely hurt, especially coming down from those previous 2 touchdowns. That's not where you want to be. Laramitis might be getting a little bit of pressure put onto him. Might be knocking himself down too much, but just talk to his, one of the coaches on the sidelines. Maybe a little bit of words of wisdom. Get him back going, but not to be too deterred.
He's got to be getting a little frustrated, especially the Foxes defense as well. A lot of players have been putting up some pretty good numbers, pretty good yards, only to have 1 or 2 plays define the stand and have an unfortunate turnover that. The interception, which really would be tough to avoid. I mean, it's got to be taking a toll on some of these Foxes.
Absolutely. All right. I mentioned the ball, handing that off. I believe there was 31 on the carry. 10, pardon me, on the carry. That was Nick Stemet.
Number 17, Tyler.
Gain of a few yards, and well, it's a second down and 26 yards to go for Yorkville. 2 minutes, 20 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. As Morris leads 13-0. So a long way to go if you want to get a fresh set of downs. About 13 yards off the original line of scrimmage. False start will do that to you. As you see Laramitis again. handing that ball off. No, never mind. Just handing that ball off to 34. Jacob Brooks, the running back.
With the carry, number 47, Caden Laurie.
And Caden Laurie bringing him down from Morris, and that's a gain of, let's call it 6 yards. 3rd down, 18 to go. In a situation like this where you want to get a decent amount of yardage, you might see Tyler Midas pass it, and yeah, that's where it gets tricky because we've seen a few interceptions, we've seen a few tip-offs and incomplete passes from Larry Midas. But he's got to be confident, know where his players are, and taking a shot in the dark here and going for it might be a bit of a gamble, but it's high risk, high reward at this in this point.
Well, it's all going to be proven by whatever comes out of this play.
All right, with a nice run here. Jukes around number 22, working his way down just shy of the 40-yard line. That was Jacob Brooks.
Good gain on that right side. So they're a little bit more in into a position they can feel more comfortable with.
12 gets the Foxes into positive.
All right, so gain of 12 yards, 4th down, 6 to go. And Alex is going to kick it. Back deep is Alex Cameron for the Redskins. All right, ball goes up. Big boot again from Haddix. And ball falls just a little shy of the
Haddix's kick takes
head of Keegan Davey. It's Yorkville bounce going down to the 30-yard line. We're going to start, or Morris, I should say, will start from their own 30-yard line with 55 seconds remaining here in the second. All right.
Expect a run-heavy offense coming up here to get back on the board and put another touchdown, hopefully up on the board before halftime for if you're a Redskin.
And you said it earlier, Evan. Yorkville defense definitely getting a little bit tired, especially after going for the Morris offense as often as they have. That Morris offense is quite a mighty beast to tame, and going after it is definitely tuckering them out.
And he's free. Hatcher has got a lot of room to work with, but he is tracked down.
He is brought down by Keegan Davey. Oh, it was Dransfeld on the carry there. And
Keegan Davey.
A little disheartening for the Yorkville home crowd to see a big run like that immediately off of the first play of that offensive rush.
It's these big plays that Morris keeps pulling out that's really tiring out the Foxes defense, and with every play, you can see them kind of fall back on their heels a little bit more.
Redskins.
And the Redskins calling for a timeout here. Probably going to be talking about what they're going to be needing to do to get an extra touchdown before this halftime. And, well, that'd be good. That an extra touchdown would add more insurance, especially seeing how the Yorkville team's been playing. Not saying that the Yorkville team's been playing bad by any means, but they are getting pretty tired out there, especially on defensive line-wise.
Well, they certainly need to change something up in that offense if they're going to get back on top here. It's not something we haven't seen before. Foxes have worked well when down. They can claw themselves back up at home, but the Morris, their offense has been so far absolutely a run and gun offense. Not so much gun, but the running so far around the corners. Hatcher has just been dominating. Drumsfeld up the middle. They've got a running back for every situation they need.
It's very intense, yeah. 3 running backs we've seen out there tonight from the Redskins. That was Dryfout, Hatcher, and most recently being brought down after that long run there was Dransfeld.
Even a fourth, they had Tyler Petty's got a touchdown.
All right, Mayberry taking a step back. Big pass. And it was incomplete, but there was also a flag on the play. That pass was meant for Spezio.
For number 17.
It's like a possible...
There's a flag on the play.
Pass interference on the play. There was a little bumping and shoving bit off the yard line, but we'll see what the official call is.
Pass interference.
All right, looks like it will be pass interference against Yorkville.
So, not something you'd be wanting to be doing right now. Definitely got to keep the play under control. Yeah, you do want to try to stop Mayberry there as he tries to make that pass, but you don't want to get too into it, I'm going to say. That might not be the right wording there, but you don't want to interfere with that pass.
Well, pass defense on that long pass with the quarterback with an arm like Mayberry, you've got to be really careful about your secondary, and when that wide receiver's too fast, sometimes you give him a little shove, and sometimes you get called for it.
Yep. Well, here we are on the Yorkville 38-yard line. 1st and 10, 36 seconds to go in the half. That is Hatcher with the ball, looking like he's going to be stopped just shy of a fresh set of downs.
For the Redskins.
And he'll grab, if not all 10 yards, 9 and 11 inches.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's good for a Morris
Yep,
first
will
down.
be a first down.
For a second there when you said 9 and 11 inches, I was thinking you were going to say 9 and 3/4. No, but it is a good for a set of Yorkville, Morris first downs. Wow, that was a jumble of words. As Mayberry throws that ball, an incomplete pass. Not really sure who that was meant for.
Two
I
receivers
think it was going to Spezio. I assume he kind of lofted it up there. Spezio, 6'5". Seemed like would be the desired intended target for a pass that lofty. Fortunately, it goes over both white jerseys.
All right, let's see what Morris can dish out here in these final 20 seconds. All right, Mayberry at the ball. Looks like he's going to toss it. Big pass, and nobody home for that. Looked like it was going to go for number 7. That was Cameron Dransfeld again. Could have gone for it, but little too much faith in the Dransfeld there.
We'll stop the clock again. So we've got about 13 seconds left, and 2 downs for Morris to try to find their way into the end zone.
All right, 3rd down, 10 to go. We might see Mayberry hand it off to. Actually hand it off, not pass it, to either Hatcher, Dransfeld, or Dryfout. Passing's not really been working, a little bit over the heads of the people. Receivers not being where Mayberry wants them to be. So in this situation, we might see a nice run up the middle. Very powerful run, too. Let's see what he goes. Nope, they're going for another pass. Pressure being brought on. And that's the Hatcher across the original line of scrimmage. And let's add about 5 yards to that.
Hatcher. Brought down by number 59.
When you see Mayberry in the gun, you've got to be real careful about what you're calling. And looks like Morris will not be able to call the play quite in time.
Nope. We're going to call that the end of the first half here as both teams get ready to get off the field and head back to the locker rooms. Current score at the end of the half, Morris 13 to Yorkville 0. We're going to go to commercial break. Keep it here on Fox Valley TV. Welcome back to beautiful Campbell Field here in Yorkville, Illinois. If you're just joining us, the Yorkville Fighting Foxes are going up against fierce conference rivals, the Morris Redskins tonight. I'm Tom Moulding, and alongside me is my partner, Evan Wiseman.
Well, Tom, it's been a pretty exciting game so far, pretty even. The only problem would probably be the 2 big game plays for Morris that turned into some short runs for touchdowns. Right now we have on the board, it's 13-0. And just to recap, the first 2 touchdowns, one scored by, I've got number 24, Dryout, who had a quick 5-yard run after a huge run by Austin Hatcher. And then the second touchdown coming from Tyler Petty, who had a quick gain of just 4 yards for a touchdown. And that led to another touchdown. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
After a big pass coming from Mitchell Mayberry.
So it definitely was interesting. And with that 13-point lead over the Yorkville Foxes, it definitely seems like the Morris Redskins have been dominating tonight. And as you did say, Evan, they have been relatively even. It's just a matter of just the overall domination that the Redskins have been putting out offensively tonight.
Well, it's sure to be an interesting second half now that both coaches have had the ability to really hopefully psych their teams up and get a new game plan going. So it's going to be just about a game close to chess as you can get for a football game.
I have to agree as the ball goes way back into the end zone there.
Hatcher's kick clears the end zone.
So that'll be about a
first
safety there. Pardon me. That'll be 1st and 10 there for the Foxes. Don't know what I was thinking.
Yep, quick touchback. So they'll start off on the 20-yard lines. They've had better field positioning earlier in the day, but we've still seen them march down the field fairly successfully. Let's just hope this time it's for a touchdown.
Absolutely. Now, it's definitely been tricky. Both teams this first quarter, they both started on opposite ends of the field, very far in. And here we are starting again for Yorkville. Deep in as we see number 34, Brooks, go down. Looked like a little bit of a grab there of the collar, but it's all right. Refs didn't really call anything against that. But that was number 87 on the not the carry, but the tackling there. That was Kyle Little. Loss of a yard there for the Yorkville Foxes as we go onto the Yorkville 19-yard line. So it'll definitely be as you said, a game of chess to get back up the field. It's been brutal trying to force that Yorkville offense up through the middle. So we might see him go around here. Laramitis is getting pressured out. Ball fumbled and picked back up by number 22 from the Redskins. That was Trevor Tank.
Ball comes loose.
Looks like it came loose again after the initial recovery. I don't know that the Morris ever really actually had it. So Yorkville somehow recovers.
I could have sworn Tank came away with that, with Tank and Morris came away with that, but wow.
Ball all the way back on the 5-yard line.
Oh, Yorkville's got to really count their blessings after that one.
Well, they're back about 35 yards on their own 5-yard line, 95 yards to go if they want that touchdown, but let's see what Laramitis is going to do. Passes that off, and with the run there is
34 Brooks on
that was Brooks again.
Number 16 Kyle Olson.
Kyle Olson bringing him down. So 4th and 25. So it looks like Yorkville's going to punt this out of here.
Zach Haddix.
Well, it's really the only smart thing to do. You've got a whole long way to go, even if Jacob Brooks was still able to pick up about 15 yards on that play.
For the Redskins.
All right, so that goes up, and ball is going to look like it finds its way right to Cameron. Cameron with the ball. We've seen him dangerous. He knows how to get around the field. That pulls off a few jukes, gets over the 40 before going down. Nope, getting pushed back a little bit over the 40. Closer to the midfield side than Yorkville touchdown, Yorkville end zone side. So it looks like maybe about 41-yard line.
And number 9, Josh
Morris gets another opportunity to
the Redskins take over.
do some damage on the scoreboard. They're on the away team. You got to remember, Morris 4-0 on the year so far, has beaten some teams that Yorkville struggled with, namely Rochelle, which Yorkville took a tough loss to. Morris was able to climb over by 4 points.
And at this point right now, score is 13-0. If this score does carry out, that means Morris wins their 5th win of the season, undefeated.
Number 7, Dransfeld on the carry.
That was Dransfeld on the carry.
There is also a flag on the play.
Oh, a flag on the play, too. I didn't quite see that, but let's see what the ref has to say.
Illegal shift.
Well, that'll be an illegal shift on the offense. So the move in the backfield will draw a flag.
Yorkville crowd here hungry See that Yorkville defense put an end to anything more just to push off, and penalties decline.
The result of the play is no gain, and that'll make it 2nd down for the Redskins.
So we're looking at 2nd down for the Redskins. No gain. And we're going to go again from the original line of scrimmage. Huge Ransfeld moving there a little bit on the field. Mayberry taking a step back, looking for somebody to pass to. That somebody looked to be Hatcher.
Incomplete.
That's a Hatcher. That's actually number 11. Briar Russell. And incomplete pass.
And there's a flag on the play as well. It came in a little late.
A flag near the line of scrimmage. The indication is a penalty against the Redskins.
So it'll be a penalty against the Redskins that we're hearing.
We're just waiting on the official call.
All right.
A chop block.
Against the
Okay.
Redskins.
So that'll come with, if I'm correct, 10 yards. Once again, penalties deciding this game.
That penalty is
So,
accepted.
15,
It is the
my apologies.
15-yard variety.
Either way, a couple of penalties afflicting the Morris offense right away here. Not
And 25.
good by any means, but again, Morris with his comfortable lead here, 13-0 here.
A long way to go. They got plenty of time to get there. Only 2nd down, but they've still got 35 yards to go.
That's quite a hike. Be interesting to see here what Mayberry has to pull off out of his pocket. That Mayberry, being the Morris quarterback, hands it off, decides to go right up the middle. Couldn't quite see who that was. It was Hatcher with the ball.
On the carry.
Gain, I'd say maybe about 5 yards. Fisher on the tackle. 3rd down, and a gain of only 1. So 3rd down, 24 to go.
And 24.
Another opportunity. Probably see Mayberry come out into the gun and find someone to airmail it to.
You know, we've seen that happen once before, once or twice before tonight. And even under a little bit of pressure, we saw a number of the Yorkville defensive line just going for Mayberry. And Mayberry just threw it out of there just in hopes that Yorkville wouldn't get the ball. And here we go, Mayberry with the ball. Passing that, and that was Hatcher with the ball being pushed back a little bit further. And, wow.
Just about 75% of passes from Mayberry have gone to Hatcher. You can tell that,
puts the spot on the 50.
I mean, they must have practiced that play over and over again. You know, those are the two that always find themselves in practice to play catch with.
And they're definitely comfortable with each other, confident too. We've seen, you know, as you said, the majority of the throws or passes that Mayberry's made has gone to Hatcher, and the majority of them have also been actually complete passes, but they've all been apprehended by that Yorkville defense. Well, not all of them, but a good majority. Ball going down on the 15-yard line.
Near the Yorkville 14-yard line, the Fox.
You're right when you said, I mean, Yorkville has had a pretty strong pass defense other than the one deep throw that Mayberry had. I believe that was to Redinger, long on that right side. But outside of that, I mean, it really has been a pretty lockdown defense for Yorkville, which is why the score is only 13-0. It's really only come down to 2 big plays that Morris has been able to pull off.
All right, so here we see, I believe that is number 34. Is that Brooks? Yes, it was.
Number 34, Jacob Brooks, the ball carrier.
Well, looks like there's a flag on the field, so I think that might have been a face mask.
Down near the 25-yard line.
Did look like it was a little uncomfortable of a tackle.
Personal foul. It's a horse collar penalty against the Redskins.
Well, when you got a running back moving as fast as, well, any of these Foxes running backs can, really what you got to do is just grab whatever you can and hopefully pull him down. Unfortunately, that's ending in a 15-yard penalty.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, the Redskins did get called out on that, putting the offensive line on the Yorkville 40-yard line. Just a number of fouls have been thrown the way of Morris since the half really started here.
Well, they've had about 45 yards worth of penalties total already in the second half, and it's only the third quarter with about 7:30 to play.
Second and 7.
There's Mata on the carry there, second down, gain of about 3 yards, so let's go at 2nd and 7. All right, getting ready to put the ball in action again. We're going to see Larry Midas handing that ball off again to Brooks. Brooks with a nice run going across the 45, landing and stopping right around the 40.
He's quick to get back. Brooks has had some quick feet. There are a lot of young legs that can move into the position of running back for the Yorkville, and Brooks has proven that he's the quickest out of this bunch by really, I mean, he's had some spectacular runs on that right side. If he can get a good block from the line, I mean, he sees daylight just about every play, and it's really only been 1 or 2 plays in which he's been tackled, for only short gains or losses.
Okay, Larry Midas still has the ball. Incomplete pass.
Another pass on the run from Tyler Midas.
For number 88, Magazzini.
That was really wise play there. Faked it off and then actually confused some of the Morris players there. Had the ball, had enough time to pass it to somebody, I guess just Magazzini there. Matt Magazzini just might not have been open enough. Didn't really understand that Larry Midas was going to throw the ball his way. Didn't quite get a read on that, but we're going to try it again. 2nd and 10 with Yorkville pushing ever so close to the Morris end zone.
Brooks got space.
Looks like a fresh set of downs, but I think, did I see a flag?
34, Brooks, the ball carrier.
He might be in there for 10.
Brought down by number 11, Overback.
Well, after bouncing off just about 5 white jerseys, Brooks is able to grab what looks to be, well, I guess we'll get an official read. Yeah, it looks like it to be 9 yards.
All right, well, very, very close as long as you can just make it that 1 extra yard. Don't get pushed back by any means here. Yorkville's getting ever so close.
3rd and 1.
Maybe as close as they've been tonight. I can't quite recall. But they're getting closer. They're getting hungry for that touchdown. They're looking right there at that Morris end zone. There, Midas with the ball. Handing that off to Mata.
Mata on the carry.
And that's good enough for Yorkville set of downs.
30-yard line. The result of the play.
That's all they needed. All right, you're sort of seeing Yorkville start clicking on all cylinders. The run game between Mata and Brooks has now brought them within striking distance.
Yeah, this might have been the that half might have been the push that Yorkville needed to actually get the ball rolling here. Coming out of the gates, they looked good on the defense, but they've been on defense for so long, and then that, okay, who's with the ball? That's Brooks with the ball, being brought down by 52 from Morris. That was Avery Hoffman.
On the carry, brought down by number 52.
Yeah, but the defensive line there has been kind of getting tired, especially back in the first half they were getting tired. A little too tired, as they allowed a few touchdowns here. Maryland's offensive line seems to have woken up, got a little bit of a pep talk. Larry Midas tried passing again tonight, reminding us all that he is comfortable with the passing game. It was incomplete, but he still did try for it, which is saying something, especially after a number of passes have gone awry, one being an interception, which led to a touchdown earlier tonight. Not there. That was looking like that was meant for Medrano again. So passing like that is what you need to do, but Medrano needs to be either Larry Midas needs to make sure Medrano's right where he needs to be, or Medrano needs to be where Larry Midas wants him to be. Kind of circular reasoning there, but they're getting the right idea if they want to get closer to that end zone. 3rd down, 7 to go.
Jacob Overbeck on the coverage on that last play. Double duty for him tonight, wide receiver and defensive back. So we've seen him on both sides of the ball. That's got to be tough to play in this heat.
All right, Larry Midas with a nice lob. Wow, look at that. Nice little avoiding there by Brooks. Gain of a couple more yards. Let's call that splitting. 4th and 5, I might want to say.
Carry brought down by number 11, Overback. Loss on the play, brings up.
Loss on the play. All right, 4th down and 4th down, 10 to go. Back to the original line.
Overbeck again, picking up another tackle. He's, like I said, he's been everywhere on the field. But that was a tough juke. What a move by Brooks.
He just looked over back in the eyes, it appeared, and just hopped right out of the way, but eventually being brought down. All right, they're going for it. Larry Midas has the ball, looking for a pass.
Falls short.
The pass falls incomplete.
Threw that into a whole squad of white jerseys, so it'll be a turnover on downs. Morris will get yet another attempt
Well, fans, let's get those
for a touchdown.
tickets out. We'll go
So here we
from
stand
right
in the
now.
third quarter. 4 minutes, 20 seconds remaining here. 13-0. The Redskins are in the lead, and they're going to take another offensive play, another turn at the offense here on the York on their own 30-yard line. Wow, that was a slew of words. I just couldn't get out of my mouth there. Let's try this again as Morris goes for another offensive play.
Will be another run over the right side. He's got a lot of space, but will come down about 7 yards. Number 7, Dransfeld on the carry.
Runs out of bounds on the far side.
So that'll stop the clock. We've got about 4 minutes, so I guess it didn't quite make it out of bounds.
Once again, fans, that winning 50-50 ticket.
All right. Yep, a gain of about a few yards there. Second down, 6 to go.
7-2. The jackpot tonight, $170.
And, you know, that Yorkville defense has been doing a good read on that Morris offense, especially as we see here. That was Dryfout being brought down by Keegan Davey from Yorkville.
24, Dryfout.
As I was saying, it's very impressive to see how Yorkville has been keeping up with this Morris offense, considering how much they've been switching it up with their running backs and how Mayberry's been passing. Now, it's very impressive to see that, especially as how long they've been playing, but it kind of makes sense. The more the defense has been out there, the longer they've been able to identify what Mayberry's going to want to do with his players or with his teammates out there. So, we might see a quicker end to this offensive push, but
The ball comes loose.
Oh, it looks like the snap was botched. Yorkville signaling it's theirs. And it'll stay Morris ball.
The Redskins able to recover. That will bring up 4th down.
all right, 4th down. 2 to go. I would imagine that Morris might want to try to go for it.
Might as well if you're in a comfortable position. Only 5 yards to gain. You know they've been averaging. Oh, they'll actually.
All right.
Well, you got to remember they could be doing something sneaky. Hatcher is the running back.
Nope, shallow punt, taking a Morris bounce and going across the, let's call that the 37-yard line before it finally bounces out of bounds.
Out of bounds here at the Yorkville 39-yard line. There is a flag.
But there is a flag.
Back near Hatcher, the kicker.
Well, he did have a defender make contact with him. This might be on Yorkville. Seemed like it was timely enough, but we'll get the official call.
The punt appeared to be tipped, which made it a short kick. The Yorkville defense able to get a hand on it.
So we'll be roughing the kicker on Yorkville.
Yeah, Yorkville fans definitely do not agree with that call. Very upset about that. But it is what it is. Officials did call it roughing the kicker. 2 minutes, 20 seconds to go here as, pardon me, as we get set up.
So it seemed like there had to be some secondary discussion with the officials.
So regardless of the tip by the Yorkville defender, the penalty is assessed. It's a 15-yard personal foul penalty, and that will give the Redskins a 1st down.
A tough call for the Foxes.
Yep, definitely called a personal foul, as we just heard. 15-yard penalty against the Foxes. 1st down for the Redskins, so that one's got to sting.
Once again, in the second half here, penalty yards has really been, affecting this game. That's coming up to about 75 yards of the penalties overall in this game, and about half of that has been in these 10 minutes alone.
Yeah. Now, Yorkville does have to count themselves lucky as Dransfeld has the ball that Morris has not got another touchdown. They do have to count themselves lucky for that. They have been doing well on the defense, just the offense has not been really, I don't want to say they haven't been all there tonight, but they've just not been connecting as much as Layer Minus has wanted them to be connecting tonight.
I mean, the pass game on both sides of the ball has been painful, to say the least, other than a few on the side of Morris. They've been able to make a few plays there, which, you know, the one long one that went to Redinger was able to draw in. That led to the Tyler Petty 4-yard run for the touchdown. That was the 13th point that Morris was able to bring in.
All right, Dransfeld again with the ball, pushing for a gain of a couple. Brought down by, first one to stand up there, looked like he was number 71, Joseph Slavin.
Only a short gain. I'm sure that's a sigh of relief from the Foxes who, you know, when you look at the first play, it looks like there was a flag on the field. So once again, we will assess more penalty yards to the game.
Yeah, this third quarter has been plagued by penalties, it seems.
This one on Morris. I missed the official call on the field.
Well, penalty against the Redskins makes it 2nd and 14.
It'll just tick under a minute as we get the clock running again.
So, a penalty-plagued third puts the Morris Redskins down, second down, 15 to go as we see a call here.
Nope, timeout on Morris. So, the Morris Redskins, who used all 3 of their timeouts in the first half, will once again try to corral the troops and get a good game plan here in order to hopefully wind up on the scoreboard once again before the end of the quarter. Morris, for the most part, has been in control, but I'd say overall it's probably been about a 60-40 split between the two teams. Morris really just had 2 big plays there to put them up 13-0.
You know, I'd have to agree with you there, too. About a 60-40 split would be a pretty even call here. Yorkville has not been doing poorly by any means tonight. Just that Morris offensive line does just keep pushing, and that defensive line, too, from Morris. Also, they're no slouches. They've been reading Yorkville's offensive and defensive lines really well. Speaking that they have been playing a slightly bit better, as the scoreboard does show, but Yorkville just has been getting put down here every time they've been going on the offense. Just quick, not speaking for all of them, but some quick 1, 2, 3 downs, and then turning it over again to the Redskins.
It's really got to be frustrating. Yorkville's really got some talented athletes, and unfortunately this offense just keeps coming up short.
Mayberry taking a step back, running with the ball. Mayberry the keeper. So he's going to run right out as pressure gets edged onto him.
Number 3, Mayberry.
Well, safe call to get back within the first 10 that they started at.
He crosses midfield near the Yorkville.
That'll stop the clock. Got about 37 seconds left of the third quarter.
You know, when in doubt, go for a couple yards, and that's what Mayberry, the quarterback keeper, did. And now we're across the original line of scrimmage, third down, 9 to go with 37 seconds.
Credit where credit is due. Mayberry keeping his head up and knowing when to scramble when all his options are gone.
Very professional call there. Understanding that his options were gone, as you just said. Just went for it. All right, Mayberry again looking for another pass. This one goes up. Looks like it's a little too much. Too much for Dransfeld.
A little bit more on target than last one, but fortunately still out of the reach of Dransfeld.
Yeah, you saw where that was going to. Dransfeld fell down right around that 10-yard line. Mayberry and the Redskins are hungry for another touchdown, but here we are, 4th down.
4th and 9.
Not too sure what Morris is going to want to do here. They've sent out the punting team.
Number 1,
and there's Hatcher. I guess they are going to try to punt it.
Formation number 25.
And as you have pointed out, Evan, Hatcher is a running back as well as their kicker, so might be in for a sneaky surprise here. Definitely not as ball goes up. Shallow arc. and falls just across the, I believe that's the 15-yard line, taking a Morris bounce.
Sails out of bounds. The spot gives
So Yorkville will
line.
The 26-yard line.
start yet another drive.
All right.
Get on the board.
First and 10, indeed, hoping to get on the board here with 20 seconds remaining here. Going into the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth, keeping Yorkville on this offensive line here. This push might be what they need. We've been talking about momentum all night, especially in terms of the Yorkville offense. Let's see if this actually gets the win back in their sails. Let's see if Tyler Ramadis can actually crank out a good couple of passes, get his confidence back up there again, as that was Mata going down.
Number 31, Mata on the carry.
Short gain of a few inches.
All right, it looks like the clock's going to tick down to the end of the third here in just a second. All right, time's expired here in the third quarter. So when we come back to the fourth quarter, Yorkville will start on their second down. Going into the commercial break, Morris is up over Yorkville, 13-0. Keep it here on Fox Valley TV.
Thank you so much, Lady Foxes. Thank you to
All right, welcome on back to Campbell Field here in Yorkville, Illinois, where tonight, if you're just joining us, very exciting conference play between two bitter rivals, the Yorkville Foxes and the Morris Redskins, is underway currently. It is the fourth and final quarter of play. The Redskins are currently up 13-0 over Yorkville, but Yorkville is on the offense right now, starting on their own 27-yard line on their 27-yard line for the second down.
And still on his feet. Push up the middle. That was Brooks again, trying to get on the outside. It's only a matter of time before he breaks right and sees daylight. But the Foxes only have 12 minutes left to get on the board, let alone try to win this game.
It has, it's a tricky thing to do. You have 12 minutes to make back those 13 points any way you can. Best case scenario they can do, prevent Morris from any way getting another touchdown. Yorkville makes 2 touchdowns and makes both extra points. They will be in the lead, and if they carry that through the end of the game, that would be good. That'd be great for them. Early flag here as Laramitis passes that ball, and it was incomplete, looking like it was an interception, but there is a flag on the play.
Just off the defender's hands. That could have been very dangerous as Laramitis throws it into double coverage.
Number 10, Stemmet.
That was Stemmet from Yorkville being the intended receiver, but let's wait for the official's call here on what that flag was. It was over back by Laramitis.
The penalty against Yorkville, illegal motion.
And it looks like it was on the motion for the play. So that will bring up fourth down.
The penalty is declined. It'll bring up.
All right, penalty is declined.
Okay, so
Haddix on to punt for the Foxes.
Haddix will step onto the field for what is most likely going to be yet another punt.
Correction,
that will probably go 40-plus yards,
back deep,
as his average will suggest.
Yep. All right, keep an eye on this big boot here from Haddix. Okay, he started back on the 20-yard line there, going to about the 25-yard line to Cameron there. for the Redskins. Yes, the Redskins. Losing his footing, but getting back there onto making his way across the 30. That was Cameron.
Yet another impressive punt from Maddox, who has been the captain of the special teams here.
Nice kick delivered by Maddox.
Really proven his worth. Listed as, like we said, listed as a linebacker, but really should go full-time punting as he's got quite a foot.
That is very impressive. I've never actually seen a boot quite like that, especially here at the high school level. That's just a massive kick.
Pizzas, $1.50 slices. Hot dogs are $1 available in the concession stand.
All right, well, with that kick from Maddox, we have 11 minutes on the clock in the fourth quarter. Maybe the game here, if Yorkville can't do anything about this Morris offense. All right, ball goes in play. It look like we have Drensfeld on the carry.
Drensfeld on the carry.
And a short carry at that, but will be, actually looks like they're going to give him
the lead defender for Yorkville, gain of
a
5.
few extra inches, so it will be a gain of 5.
All right.
Yorkville needs a stop here so they can turn Morris around. If they can keep the ball where it is now, that'd be great field advantage for Yorkville.
Definitely want to keep an eye on Dryfout, Dransfeld, and here we have Hatcher making his way. I think that'll be a fresh out of downs as he goes out of bounds.
By number 40,
It looks like it'll be a gain of about 6. All they needed was 5.
Yep. I'll agree with you there. I think we're going to move the chain forward.
Oh, I guess they ruled that he stepped out a bit early, so 1 yard to go. 3rd down.
All right. This would, as you just said, be the place to stop the Redskins if Yorkville does want to get that head start on their offensive push. But let's see what they can do here. I was saying the 3 main running backs you want to keep an eye out if you're a Yorkville defensive player. Dryfout, Hatcher with the ball right there, and Drensfeld. Dangerous players. Drensfeld and Hatcher have actually been on the receiving end of the ball too when Mayberry has thrown it. Very all-around impressive offensive players here in these 3 I've just previously named. Very unpredictable when they're out there in the field. They do have their certain ways of playing each 3 of them. And Yorkville has been doing good at picking up on it, but in this heat tonight, it's tiring out this defensive line. It is just about 85 degrees here at game time right now. The humidity has been high all day. Definitely not football weather we're used to playing with, but here we see Dryfout with the ball. Yeah, definitely not football playing weather that we're used to. Creates an interesting environment for the game. Players out there definitely working harder than Evan and I are up here. And I'm just a little bit sweaty up here. You can only imagine how the players are feeling down there. It must be exhausting for them tonight, Evan.
Well, we have seen a few players go down with a few cramps, a few injuries here and there. So it's certainly something to think about. That maybe this game would have gone a little differently if it came to weather. You can see both quarterbacks have struggled with their arms, but
big pass by Mayberry completed too. That was again on another pass completion there. That was Tyler Spezio and Mayberry. Wow.
Old broadcaster's curse, talking just about how Mayberry was struggling in the pass game. Throws big to Spezio for a huge gain. Only 30 yards to go for another Morris touchdown.
This is getting to the danger zone for the Yorkville offense. They definitely desperately want to be on the board, especially against their rivals here tonight. But with how Morris has been playing, it just makes it harder and harder for them to get as Dryfout goes down with the ball.
If they can't get the stop here, Yorkville
24 Dryfout.
Definitely going to find themselves in a very sticky situation.
Possibly a loss of a yard on the play.
It looks like loss of about yard, maybe half. So a good start to the stop. Right now, the Morris so far this drive has not gained yards on the first play of the or on the first play of their new set of downs.
I think it does go to be said though, as Dryfout carries the ball and runs still on his feet. Goes down. That should be being brought down by number 11 from Yorkville. That was Evan Fisher.
24, Chatton Dryfout, the ball carrier for Morris.
Well, Dryfout certainly putting in his hours so far. He's had a few carries this
by number 51, Lachurko.
This set.
Well, you know, something can be said here for this fourth quarter compared to the previous quarter, the third quarter. Definitely about 75% less penalties right now. I actually did not count how many penalties were going on the last quarter, but
I mean, those yards really made a difference in that third quarter.
Nobody did make any points off of that last quarter, especially with those penalties, but still here we sit with Morris in the lead as Drensfeld has the ball.
It came loose on the ground. Looks like this could be. And no, Drensfeld was able to fall back on it. That ball did pop out by an intense hit. It looked like Holiday.
The Redskins recover.
Oh, Holloway, I'm sorry.
Brings up fourth down.
Well, fourth down on the Yorkville 25-yard line with 7 minutes and 8 seconds remaining here in the fourth. Bunch of fours up there on the board. I believe Morris would try to go for it and get that extra nail in the coffin here against Yorkville. Just more insurance points.
Well, it certainly does make a statement to the rest of the teams in the league when you can take Yorkville down.
Wow. Interesting play there. Spezia was going for the ball. It was intended for him. Incomplete pass. I didn't quite see who.
Number 7, Keegan Davey.
Keegan Davey was there to stop him. And luckily for the Foxes, they're going on another offensive push. Wow. Pardon me.
Well, they've got a lot less time to work with, but certainly it's been done before. They've been averaging roughly 3 minutes per drive. So they're really going to need to pick up the speed on this one and get, hopefully, a few big plays to go along with it. And they might, you know, they definitely aren't counted out just yet. They've still got a lot of football to play. It's going to be the longest 6 hours, or 6 minutes, I'm sorry, of a lot of these players' lives.
Yeah, you can definitely bet that it will feel like 6 hours as Larry Midas passes that ball. Incomplete pass, looking like it was made for number 10, Nick Stemmet.
Well, if they're going to succeed, they definitely need to keep Laramitis calm in the pocket, whereas he's been panicked on a few of these throws, either on the run, off his back foot, or in this case, just with a few white jerseys barreling down on him.
You know, this environment right now can definitely stress you out. You're down in the fourth quarter, 13-0, 6 minutes, 37 remaining, and you're in your own territory. This environment can seem stressful. Larry Midas makes a successful pass as who went down with that? That was number 31, pardon me. That was Mata, Andreas Mata with the ball. And they're on the 39-yard line. Let's call it the 40, just round that up. Because I do believe, no, that is just there on the 39-yard line. But no. Very stressful environment. You have you're down on home field advantage against fierce rivals in this heat, and you could be feeling agitated. You're feeling angry. You're getting stressful and emotional. You got to keep a level head, especially there on Larry Midas. We saw him make a successful pass there, which is fantastic. Maybe get more momentum going for him as he goes for another pass, hopefully, before he gets brought down. Ball's up, but I don't think it went to anybody else.
Incomplete.
Well, that's a little bit of a sigh of relief coming from the Yorkville side, as that could have been a huge tackle for loss. Luckily, Larry Midas was able to get rid of it. It still means they've just lost a precious down that they really could have utilized.
So they do desperately need to. Still have 10 yards to go for a fresh set. All right, Larry Midas looking to hand that off to Brooks. Brooks going for it. Nice run. Gain of maybe a couple.
34 Brooks on the carry. 44.
Gain about 5, I'd say.
The stop. Brings up third down.
Well, they're going to go right into the eye. Quick formation with 4 wide.
All right, Larry Midas looking to hand that off to somebody. There was Mata there to receive it, and it was a completed pass, and he's pushing for it.
Number 31, Mata.
What a bullet and what a catch. Mata is able to put his hands on it.
Near the first down yardage.
Mata might have just saved this drive.
That was impressive. I was looking a little bit deeper for Larry Midas to throw that, and officials will throw it out to measure this. Wow. Very impressive play there, especially coming from Larry Midas. I thought he was going to throw it deeper because I saw
it really did look like he was stepped back. I mean, he was ready to go long. And no, you're right. I mean, he might have. It is a first down. Wow, Mata might have just saved this drive and Yorkville's hopes of not only getting on the board but possibly back into this game.
Now, if Yorkville does get back into the game after this, you know, a lot of pats on the back have to go to Andreas Mata there. Very impressive.
Now it's all going to come down to the play call ability of this Yorkville team.
5 minutes, 30 seconds ticking down on the clock, and time is still ticking as Yorkville takes formation here.
Really going to show how well Dan McGuire knows his Foxes.
All right, taking a step back and handing that off to, I believe that was Brooks. Brooks with the ball, nice run, nice feet, going across the 40-yard line.
And that looks like it's going to be another first down. Well, Tank was able to make the tackle, but he was definitely taken for a few yards. Yorkville, momentum has shifted for sure.
Absolutely.
You can feel it in the air.
You saw Larry Midas take a step back there. I thought he was going for another pass, but there was Brooks to hand that off to. Another missed pass to Nico Madrano. You could just tell that Larry Midas might be getting a little frustrated. Madrano's there, but just not all, but maybe about a foot or two away from actually grabbing that ball.
He was taking some sort of order from the sidelines, which caught him a little off guard. You'd think that maybe if he was able to catch that snap as soon as it went off, that he would have been able to be there. That's where you got to be really level-headed, really calm in this situation, even though it's stressful, to keep your head in the game.
All right, a bit of movement out there on Yorkville side. Larry Midas takes a step back, looking for somebody to pass it to. Completed pass, gain of a few. I might have to call that.
Pass complete to Mata.
Gain a 7 maybe, but.
No fumble on the play.
Fumble was on the play, okay.
Down.
And the Yorkville Foxes keep marching.
3rd and
Clock
3.
ticks down to about 4:40.
Wow. 3rd and 3. Yorkville's hungry. Pass by Larry Midas. Is it complete or is it an interception? I can't quite tell who's going to come away with that. Ref's going to have his work cut out for him right here.
What
Yorkville
a
ball.
catch.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
I thought Mata saved the drive.
That.
Nick Stemmet has just saved the drive. How many lives does a Fox have?
Few too many here. That's a great play there for Larry Midas. I have no words for that. That was just wonderful as Larry Midas takes another step back. Big bullet. Is it too much? Yep, it might have been a little too much there for Madrano.
You can tell he wants Madrano, who's been down the field, has beaten his wide receiver on the last, I think, 3 or 4 plays, but, beaten his defender on the last 3 or 4 plays. But unfortunately, Larry Midas, I guess, just gets an itchy trigger finger. You know, he lets it go a little bit too late or early, and the pass falls incomplete.
Now this is definitely tricky. 2nd down, 10 to go. 4 minutes, 12 seconds remaining here in the 4th. 13-0 Morris. It's tricky thinking about what you want to do if you're Larry Midas. You passed the ball to Madrano a number of times. Madrano's been there, just not exactly where Larry Midas has wanted him. And running it with Brooks has definitely been a help. So Larry Midas with the ball, pass, lob pass. Is it complete? It is complete. Oh my goodness, look at that.
An interception to kill what was left of the momentum from Yorkville.
My excitement has just been stripped as I do see that being an interception. And just like my excitement, the excitement of the Foxes has been taken and unfortunately stomped upon.
A tough play and a tough throw winds up in the hands of the Morris Redskins.
Yeah, you blink for a second, you miss it all, and that's what I did right there for that missed call. But wow, that was... we had a near interception a little bit ago. And now Morris with the full-blown interception starting on their own 15-yard line. 4 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. For what it's worth, the Yorkville Foxes provided an intense offensive play there. as we have Hatcher with the ball being brought down, and you can tell Yorkville was playing a little bit more intensely here as they just had that ball stripped away from them.
Well, tackled for what looked like a loss. Well, there will be an official's timeout, possibly for an injury. Once again, the heat and humidity bringing a few cramps here and there to players who are normally healthy, have to come off and take a play or two.
Appears to be an injury timeout.
Injury timeout indeed.
And then Yorkville takes an official timeout.
So 44, Chris Galloway will take a rest briefly, and Yorkville will take an official timeout after that. So we've got some exciting football coming up here. We've just ticked under 4 minutes at Campbell Field. 13-0. Morris is leading here at in Yorkville. The Redskins has been, oh, I'm sorry about that.
No, I'm sorry, go on.
The Redskins here have been dominating the run game so far, but the 2 interceptions that they've brought in have truly proven to be the deciding factor here in the game.
You know, I was wondering, what do you think what the Foxes are talking about in their timeout there? They called it, and maybe they're talking about how they want to prevent the Redskins from going in for another touchdown, but who knows at this point?
Well, if they can stop them here, they might still have a chance at this, although, you know, they're going to be walking a bit of a tightrope. It's possible. It's been done.
4 minutes on the clock is cutting it close, but I agree with you. It is possible. Yorkville just proved to us that they can have that passing game going, and you know, the running game too is very solid. We just got to get past 2 more downs here from the Redskins to see if Yorkville can go ahead with their final offensive push, if they can get it, as Hatcher has the ball.
Well, one thing that the Yorkville's been doing well is the run defense, as you see there, tackle once again behind the line. If they can keep the clock, well, Morris's intention is to keep the ball on the ground and keep the clock running, I'd assume. And Yorkville's been doing all right so far with the run defense, so this could be a turnaround here. Although I would presume that we'd see Mayberry drop back for a pass on this 3rd down and 9.
I'd have to go ahead and agree with you there. We've seen Mayberry do some very wide, long passes, very shallow passes, and everything few and far between, very much in between. Only 9 yards to go. Mayberry might very well go for a pass here. I'm going to have to agree with you on this one, Evan.
Another run, though.
All right.
Tried to catch Yorkville off guard with the 2 wide on the right. Out of the gun, and there'll be another timeout from Yorkville, who is desperately trying to play clock management in order to get the ball back.
Ah, wow. Okay, so just a very intense situation. About 3 minutes remaining here as Yorkville takes a second timeout. And at this point, you pushed Morris back just 1 yard, putting him back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10. Wondering what you're going to do here if you're Yorkville Fox. Their defense has been great. Now, unless Mayberry takes a step back and makes an unpredictable pass, or if they run it again, that's Yorkville's best chance, in my opinion, to make sure they stop the ball. That pass, Mayberry's passing game has been unpredictable tonight, so that'd be Yorkville's worst nightmare in this situation, I believe.
I think as long as Yorkville's able to get a stop here and Laramitis is able to keep a calm head, Yorkville definitely can't be counted out of this just yet. Well, we'll see right here.
The Foxes are on the hunt. They're hungry for a touchdown. So let's see if... Oh, no, they're going for the punt. I guess it was 4th down. I was mistaken. As the ball falls right into the hands of, I believe, that is Mata.
47-yard line.
All right, we're on the Morris 47-yard line, and they're on the Morris side of the field, which means they do have a very, very good chance of getting that push in these final 3 minutes, Evan.
All they need is 2 big plays here. 2 big plays can decide this game, and like you said, they'll need the point after. But knock on wood, I hate to jinx anyone, but so far, Zach Haddix, the kicker for Yorkville, has been pretty on point, doing what he needs to do. Although that's assuming that they go for 1. They might be going for 2.
They might go for 2.
Try to decide this one and give themselves a little wiggle room.
All right, Laramitis on the keeper right now, passing that out. That is fumbled, but it's incomplete. It's not a fumble.
That was a definite interception, but luckily the quick thinking from Stemmet was able to knock it out of Cameron's hands. Didn't quite have possession long enough, so it will be an incomplete pass. That was, you could hear the breath leave the audience here in Yorkville once those hit his hands.
Stemmet there thinking on his feet. He did get knocked down there, but he didn't get knocked out. He knew what he had to do, and thankfully, yes, he did stop that interception. All right, again. Oh, with a pass to Brooks.
34 Brooks on the carry.
Well, he's a quick gain of about 5 yards. Clock ticks down to just under 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
3rd down, 6 to go. They're taking a step back. Lob pass and incomplete too.
Pass incomplete, intended for Stemmet.
Stemmet was looking for that one. Looks like he had a hand on it, but couldn't quite grip it.
He had space to work with if he just caught it. It almost looked as though he had looked where he was going before he had the ball, and that led to a incomplete pass.
All right, 4th down, 6 to go. The Yorkville crowd getting a little bit rowdy. As Yorkville, I do believe they're going to go for it.
And a official timeout. Play resumes.
All right. They're just looking for somebody. That somebody was Madrano, but Madrano could not grab that incomplete pass.
The Foxes turn it over on downs.
The Foxes given a few opportunities. There were a few holes in the defense that they were able to exploit. Unfortunately, the pass game just not working for the Foxes here at Campbell Field.
All right, so Morris may be going on their final offensive push of the night with the 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining here in the 4th. They are still in the lead, 13-0 over fierce conference rivals, the Yorkville Foxes. Coach Alan Thorson over at the Redskins definitely knows how to tell his boys what they need to do. Has not gone for nothing this season. Right now they're 4-0, looking for their 5th straight win. As Dreifeld carries that ball for a fresh set of downs, it does look like.
Well, that'll start the clock moving once again.
On the carry.
All they need is just maybe 1 or 2 more first downs, and they've got this game. Clock management, something that we've seen is Morris's strong suit.
45-yard line, good for Morris, first down.
Ball sits on the Yorkville 45-yard line, pardon me. And, yeah, as you said right there, Evan, that's time management right there. All right, taking as much time as I need. Hands that ball off to Dreifeld. Dreifeld hops across the original line of scrimmage and gets picked up on by defense.
24, Dreifeld on the carry.
And Yorkville will call a timeout out of desperation.
All right, that was our final timeout too.
Datewan Foster on the stop for Yorkville.
All right, just about 90 seconds remain here in the game. Morris is in the lead, and it looks like it might stay there for now. It might stay there for the remainder of the game as they continue their offensive push on their 2nd and down, Evan.
All they got to do is keep a cool head, and I mean, if they can get a turnover, they can make something out of it, but looks like Morris is going to walk away with this one if they just continue to make the first down line, which, I mean, we've seen Drumsfeld has not had any issue with so far today, averaging roughly 5-6 yards a carry. I mean, as long as you give the ball off to him, you're going to see positive yards and you're going to see some victories.
I do agree. This Morris offense is something just completely interesting to me. They just have been Mayberry has been doing a good job picking who he wants to hand that ball off to. Spezio has been a relatively good person to call upon when you're looking to make a pass, especially if you're Mayberry. Just a good team. Mayberry knows who his players are, where they need to be. And quick going down. Wow.
For the ball carrier.
That was drive out.
And the clock will start up again, so we're just under a minute 20.
Down for Morris.
All right, third down for Morris. Third down, 4 to go on the Yorkville 39-yard line. This game is winding to a close, folks. Big rivalry game here. Looks like it might go to the Yorkville Foxes.
All on the agenda.
Not the Yorkville Foxes, pardon me. This rival game looks like it will probably be going to the Morris Redskins.
By a rally right here in Campbell Field.
All right. We hear big cheers from the Morris student section as number 7, that is Dransfeld, goes down. Clock still ticking. That's the 35-second time. All right, 4th down, 4 to go. 4th quarter. End of the game right around the corner here. Hopefully the end of this game does not tire Yorkville out too much, take away too much of their motivation for next week's game, which is their homecoming game.
Well, that should be another great competition as well, but it does look like Morris is going to walk away with this one.
Yeah, it looks like they're sitting up in victory formation here.
Well, they've actually still got to make the first down, which is an interesting scenario.
All right.
But on 4th down, it does look like he'll just run out the clock
and takes a knee.
Take a knee once it's over.
All right, you see some good sportsmanship there between these bitter rivals here. And, that's the game, ladies and gentlemen. Morris walks away from Campbell Field tonight, 13-0. It was not it was a hard game to win for Morris there. The Yorkville defense did pick up on their offensive play right away, and it was just an impressive game to watch all in all for me, Evan.
Really just a few big plays decided it for Morris, but unfortunately for Yorkville, they fall to a current record of 1-4, whereas Morris will move on to remain undefeated.
Very impressive for Morris. I'm excited to see where they go later on this season. Yorkville, I'm excited to see where they go too. I mean, still a young team, very experienced team, and where they go, we'll be here next week too, covering their homecoming game, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so big thank you to our camera guys, Brad Kipper and Felix Fontanez out here bearing with us in the community tonight. It has been a brutal night. Thank you to our producer, Mike Reynolds, and our director tonight was Victor Mejia. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the game. Morris walks away with the victory tonight, 13 over the Foxes, 0. I'm Tom Molding.
I'm Evan Wiseman.
And I hope you have a great evening.